you both summed up what I was going to say, and it's like I totally agree. I mean,
you're welcome.
Yeah, just read it back in a British accent, so
exactly.
we sound smart.
Let me preface.
Smarter. Yeah, I'll preface. Yeah.
Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad and Cheese Podcast.
Oh, yeah. We're not sick, but we're not actually very well either. Hey, kids, it's the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel, not the My Pillow guy, Cheeseman.
This is Chad, first impression Sowash.
And this is Emmy. I'll be whoever you want me to be today because I forgot my middle name.
Hello. And on this episode of HR's most dangerous podcast, Indeed is living large, Metaview is living la vida loca, and Gen Z is just living in the past, man. Let's do this.
So you posted a new job ad. Now you can sit back and wait for the applications to roll in, right? That's why we built JobPixel. Imagine showing candidates why your company is great with real people, real stories, and real culture. With JobPixel, it's not just another job ad. It's an invitation to something much bigger.
Video gives you a 3 times better response rate. So instead of chasing after candidates, they'll be coming to you.
And with a 34% boost in conversions, candidates aren't just looking, they're applying.
And if you're worried about people clicking away, don't be. Our videos reduce bounce rates by 25%. That means they're watching, they're engaged, and they're interested.
282% more engagement. Yeah, you're going to need a bigger inbox.
Finding the right candidate is tough, but with JobPixel, it doesn't have to be. Show your company's authentic story, and the candidates will follow.
Let's make recruiting fun again, because honestly, it could use some help.
Do you want to see how JobPixel can save you time and money while achieving your KPIs? Schedule a demo today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Are you getting the election results there in Europe? The Michigan My Pillow guy running for governor?
No, I can only imagine how funny that one is.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the political commercials, but I'm sure they're pretty entertaining.
Mike Lindell.
Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy. Do you know who that is, Emmy? You probably don't.
I have no idea.
Okay.
No.
There's
Sounds
a guy here in the States. He's got this product called My Pillow, and it's a pillow, shocking. And then he has other stuff that he sells with. Anyways, he's a big time Trump supporter, and he ran for governor, I think, of Michigan, a Republican, and lost. And now he's, of course, suing for wrongful election, whatever.
Oh God!
So yeah, it's a whole thing here. But he's such
Fake
a
news.
joke. He's such an absolute just wanker, if you will, in my best English accent.
He's a wanker.
He's a wanker.
On to fun stuff. Let's talk about Mike the My Pillow asshole. It's so
bite my pillow.
Bite my pillow. Sounds the Bite My Pillow episode of Chad and Cheese Podcast. This morning, so we connect with people on LinkedIn all the time, and you do it, and you find these kind of like weird connections sometimes. Like you grew up in the same area, you went to the same school, same company, but you literally never crossed paths while you were there, and you never met this person before. But there's no reason that you hadn't, right? And back in June, Diane Viagash, Matt, I'm screwing her name up big time.
Yeah,
sorry,
bless
Diane. Michonne connected with me on LinkedIn and mentioned that, hey, I see that you're living in Tavira. We have a family home in Onlau, about 30 minutes away from me. How about when I'm there in August, we come and, have a little coffee. So I did that this morning. It was amazing. She had worked for Indeed, I think, for a little over 14 years. She's been in the industry for like 15 plus. Worked at Handshake for a little while, but had great conversation about an hour and a half over coffee, and the whole first impressions thing. You're gonna love this. So I'm going down. I'm like, we have a bunch of people that we know in common. I'm like, let's go take a picture. We'll send it to them, and they'll be all jealous because we're on the water, right? So we're walking down the steps to the beach. and the tide has just gone out. So the steps are a little wet, and there's a little algae on the steps.
I like where this is going, by the way. I like where this is going.
I totally Charlie Browned that motherfucker. When he's kicking the football? Oh, yeah. I'm like,
did everyone see?
Oh, yeah. And that's the only time you want to have those falls. You want everybody to see a fall of that magnitude. You want everybody to see.
Nice.
So anyway, she was okay. We went back up the stairs so that she didn't have to do that. But it was a great time. And again, anybody that you're connected to on LinkedIn, if you get a chance to go out and have a coffee, a beer, dinner, go do it. Life is too short. The world is not small enough. But when you get a chance, make it happen. And thanks, Diane. Really appreciate it. Sorry about almost falling on you.
No. So were you like, the only thing that can cure my embarrassment is like some insider knowledge on Indeed and Handshake. And did she spill some dirt? Did she let loose?
If she did, I'm not going to divulge any of my sources, Cheeseman. That's not what we do around this joint.
That's a good point.
But yeah, personally, I think like when I was in my 20s or 30s or something like that, and I fell, I got up and I was like totally embarrassed. Now I just laugh my ass off. It's like, what a dumbass I am. That was funny, right?
It's like, no shame.
Yeah. And then my back aches for the next 3 weeks. Yeah, that's what happens.
So good.
When I
keeping
fall.
it warm.
Have you seen Have you seen the memes where like somebody in their middle ages or in middle age, not middle ages, like our age, like they'll dunk a basketball.
Joel, I'm not your age, by the way.
I'm not talking to you, Emmy.
Okay, just making sure.
Like they'll dunk a basketball, and then in their mind they're like, yeah, and then they look back and their real person is like on the floor, like hurt from what they did. Anyway, maybe I'm the only one whose algo is serving up that kind of shit. Let's get some. Let's save me and get to some shout outs unless you guys have any more banter. Nobody saw the Odyssey yet, right? No Odyssey pushback. All right.
You said not to watch it. Yeah.
I'm waiting on that.
I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
Yes. Please go see it.
Of course.
Go see it so someone could say something.
It's too long, but still.
Yeah. That's the test. If you go see a movie and you go, I don't need to see it ever again, it's not that good of a movie. Yeah. And I would bet that everyone who sees the Odyssey, very few are saying like, I can't wait to see that again. It's not Goodfellas, people. It's not Goodfellas. Emmy, what you got for shout outs?
Over 80% of you watching right now, you watch over and over. We know you do, but you haven't liked and you haven't subscribed. Let's do that. Let's do that now.
My shout out is actually all about privilege today. My privilege.
Oh, how British of you. How British.
It's incredibly British. Now, I'm just going to preface this because for anyone who's not watching the video, I'm going to paint a picture of myself.
Did you say preface? Did you say I'm going to preface this?
I'm going to preface.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Don't
call me out for like not saying it properly. God, I've lost my flow now.
You are saying it properly.
If that was English or if that was just like I'm trying to get my European on over here.
See, I'm not too sure now.
Preface.
I've been working with Americans for 4 years. I've forgotten how to say certain words in the English accent. So
if anybody's going to fuck you up, it's going to be us.
Yeah,
us
exactly.
Or Scousers. Scousers will too.
Anyway, I'm going to start this off by describing myself. So if you're not watching the video, I'm going to paint a picture of what I look like. Yeah, so I try to tell people I kind of look like Naomi Campbell. That's a lie, but we can go with that. But I'm black. I'm a woman. Okay, so
I'm black.
Paint any picture you want from there. But basically, I said, as a black woman, we don't get many privileges, yeah? So I'm going to take this privilege and I'm going to tell you where I'm actually coming from. Because apparently, I now benefit from skinny privilege. Okay. And I tell yes, apparently.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
It is,
and it's all down to my favorite drug in the world, GLP-1s. I love it. I had been on GLP-1s for about 2 years and it's made me go, and apparently I'm now benefiting because there's some Harvard report that actually came out, and I'll say the serious side of things. A Harvard report came out, and unfortunately what it was saying now that all the people who have actually lost weight recently down to all the GLP-1s, they're actually benefiting in the workplace. Okay, so when people used to talk about pretty privilege before and all the other types of appearance privileges, apparently that gets you a leg in the door, doesn't actually benefit people like me who actually had a job beforehand because it doesn't translate into pay rises. But if you're in the marketplace, people are still judging you by what you look like. So, and it's translating into salaries. So more people who are more overweight, for example, earn less than people who have the same skills, same industry, as good as the next person getting a job. But even if they do secure that job, they're getting paid less. So my shout out is that, like I said, GLP-1's fantastic. Thank you very much, helping me to lose the weight that I couldn't lose beforehand, probably because I boozed too much. So I went down the cheating route. But like I said, I'm privileged. I'm a privileged person now.
I think the shout out is more like Emmy's looking hot, everybody. That's what the shout out is. That's the shout out.
I will take that.
No, look, in all seriousness, I've always thought that overweight people are the sort of underreported, underappreciated group of people who are,
but it's
prejudiced
sad, though,
against
isn't
them.
it?
Taking advantage.
I mean, there's discrimination, and it doesn't get reported enough. So it's funny that now that they're getting skinny, it's a thing now. Like, oh, they're getting jobs now. They're they're not getting that kind of treatment. But yeah, good for you. I mean, how long have you been on them?
Well, I'm not on it anymore because I stopped in October, but I was on it for 2 years. And I'm telling you, it is the best drug I've ever taken. Botox is the second best, because when I lost the weight, I actually realized I had wrinkles on my face, which I didn't know about because the fat was filling it up. But like I said, it was the best drug I've ever taken. Yeah. And so, I'm the biggest advocate for it.
Yeah. I'm naturally a size 2, so I don't have any much comprehension.
I can tell. Yeah. We have seen you.
A size 2 in Chris Farley. Yes.
That's not very nice. That's not very nice. Chad, what you got?
Joel, so there are many people in our industry that usually work behind the curtain. They create great shit, and yet they don't get any fanfare. And today I'm going to shout out a guy that's always one of the smartest guys in the room. That's Toby Dayton. If you don't know him, Toby Dayton, Link Up CEO, friend of the show, and former co-host of the Chad and Cheese Data Show. After 25 years, Toby has left the building over at Link Up and Global Data. Listeners, you might remember that November 2024, Link Up was acquired by Global Data. That could have had something to do with Chad and Cheese. I don't know. Which means Toby took a pre-internet employment guide company, brought it onto the internet, started indexing jobs, pivoted into a data company, and then 25 years later got acquired. That man did the fucking work. And that's one hell of a ride, guys. So shout out to Toby Dayton. Congrats on one hell of a ride, and good luck on whatever you do next.
That's right. The Bigfoot of big data, the Sasquatch of statistics, is moving on. Shockingly, about a year after selling the company, because that never happens. Never happens a year after, say bye now. So, I guess he's going to do the Gen X thing and just disappear. Have Chipotle bowls and listen to REM records for the rest of his days, I guess.
That sounds like a beautiful life.
It does, doesn't it? All right, guys. So my shout out goes, I guess, to Night Owls. We talk a lot about automation and recruiting on this show. Some of it's negative, some of it's positive. One of the positive aspects I don't think we talk a lot about is that the flexibility that job seekers have is really something that we haven't known before. In the old days, if you wanted to get a job and you had to interview, if you already had a job, you had to sneak out during lunch. Maybe you had to have a coffee before you went in, maybe a quick after hours thing, happy hour. But new research is coming out. This is an article by Wired. So much of the interviews now, because they're automated, are happening late at night. And there's some data points around there. Alex.com, which is a sponsor of the show, 62% of their interviews are after work hours. Greenhouse had a report that said 24% of its interviews happened between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., which means obviously these are probably people with kids, have to do late night shit, and then this is the best time that they do it. So I think it needs to be said that automation, being able to adhere to people's schedules, real life things that are going on, I think is a really great thing that's happening with automation. So shout out to the Night Owls, the people with lives that have jobs and can't get to the phone easily. I think that the new technology is great for them. Shout out to all of them. By the way, Chad, that segment of shout outs was sponsored by Free Bourbon. Who doesn't love some free bourbon? That's right. Our friends at Proven Base are making miracles happen as we send 2 bottles of chicken cock, newly acquired, by the way. Google that if you need to. Chicken cock, 2 loyal fans of the show, but you got to go to chadcheese.com/free. Again, thanks to Proven Base for making miracles happen. We love you.
I love chicken cock so much, I bought the company.
And I'm bringing it to Portugal.
Yes, that would be fucking great. You know what's next, baby? It's events. It's Frango here. Events, baby. We've got Wreckfest and Party Time coming 23rd, 24th of September. Wreckfest. You know what's going to happen. We're going to be on the Disrupt stage. JT and Mo are going to be on the Innovate stage. So we've got 2 stages. Day 1 lockdown. And then on the first night, it's Party Time on night 1 at Old Red. We're upping the ante on the actual party place this year. Bigger rooftop, better drinks, and that all comes from our friends at Jobrapido. At that point,
Jobrapido.
I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellent.
I'm going to jump on a plane, go to Cabo for a few days. My buddy's getting married in Cabo. Then I'm going to go to Dallas at the Omni Hotel, 29th of September through the 1st of September. SIA, we know staffing, industry, analyst, SIA. They've got this little event called Collaboration X. And going to be there. Actually, we're having a Shark Tank, got some expert panels that we're going to be a part of. Bunch of fun. Go to collaborationx.com for your tickets. And then let's talk about the Muziekgebouw real quick. That's right, the E-Recruitment Congress in Amsterdam. That is always a party, Emmy. That is always a party. October 6th. If you don't have your tickets yet, Emmy,
I don't have a ticket.
We need to talk about you getting a ticket.
Amsterdam
October
in the
6th.
fall.
I'm going to come.
Guess who else is going to be there? Stephen McGrath. That's right.
What? I did not know this. I'm coming now.
That's all you had to say. Stephen McGrath is going to be there.
Events all brought to you by our friends at Shaker Recruitment Marketing. 75 years in business, kids. That's right. Happy anniversary to Shaker. Go to shaker.com. If you want to know what you should be doing with this AI stuff, if you really want to take a look and get your tech stack audited, go to shaker.com. Talk to the best. 75 years. You'll thank us. You'll thank us.
And say hi to them when you're at Wreckfest in Nashville.
Oh, God,
they'll be out there. Really sexy travels there, Chad, but almost as sexy as you know what. Fantasy football is back, baby. It's back. So we're taking signups now. Okay. If you don't know, Factory Fix is sponsoring the event.
Love some Factory.
You got to head out to chadcheese.net/fantasy-football to sign up. We're sending out messages. Check us out on LinkedIn. You can sign up if you, we're everywhere. So sign up. We'll be selecting a few lucky winners. We'll have our last year's champion back again to see if they can repeat. Of course, Chad and I will be there. Emmy, I don't know if she's going to play football. Probably wrong football for you, but
has no clue what this American football stuff is.
It's just something I've seen on TV, but
she can't do any worse. She can't do any worse than Adam Gordon.
Welcome to all things Scottish. Our slogan is, if it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Stephen redeemed the country of Scotland, but otherwise it was not. It was not.
He did
pretty.
a damn good job.
It was not
damn
pretty.
Good job.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh,
no doubt. All right, guys, should we get to some topics?
Topics.
All right, it's earnings season, everybody.
Ooh,
good show fodder. That's right. ZipRecruiter's Q2 showed $118 million in revenue. That's a plus 5% year over year and 12% up adjusted EBITDA margins and AI-driven engagement gains while cutting debt. Recruit Holdings, the owners of Indeed.com, crushed Q1 with a plus 19% revenue boost, record profits, and strong Indeed growth. Then sharply raised full-year guidance on AI monetization and efficiency. Both highlight AI progress amid a soft hiring market. Zip is up almost 10% on the news, while Recruit Holdings spiked 30%. Holy shit on the news. Let the good times roll, Chad. What's your take on earnings season at Indeed and Zip?
Let's start with Zip. This is financial engineering at its best and or worst. Call it whatever you want. ZipRecruiter owed banks roughly $295 million, but they paid them back early only $229 million because the banks were worried that Zip might not be around. Maybe. I mean, that might be the reason, but they paid much less than they owed. And we know why banks do that. So ZipRecruiter counted that saved $65 million as profit. Without the one-time saving, ZipRecruiter actually, by my math, would actually lost money this quarter, right? So this is all bullshit, financial engineering, and smart from the people at ZipRecruiter, because obviously people don't pay attention. They don't look at the numbers. They don't see what's going on. And they're like, time to buy ZipRecruiter.
Well, too bad for them. Chad doesn't fall.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
I try not. But I do want to do a history lesson when we start talking about Indeed here, because
time
for a history lesson.
Well, first off, you'll notice that on the call there was no mention of apply for me. The AI,
the pause
bot,
feature,
that was paused, right? They didn't talk about that. They didn't want to get into that. But the history lesson, I'm taking you back about 15 years when Monster and CareerBuilder were on the top of the mountain. Those companies were not innovating, and yet they were still pulling in record revenues. Why? Was the product better than anything else out there? No. Were Monster and CareerBuilder offering better value propositions than years before? No. As a matter of fact, the value prop was worse because the prices kept going up for the same exact fucking product. So these companies were still riding high. Why? Because human behavior. Monster and CareerBuilder were baked into buyers' behaviors. And then what happened? It wasn't Indeed. Indeed didn't kill Monster and CareerBuilder. Their arrogance, constantly raising prices. Yes, constantly raising prices and treating customers like shit. All because of the where are they going to go mentality. Customers don't have a choice. They have to use us. I remember that feeling and talking to Monsters, actually, and being when I was at Monster. So I believe we're well into that same where are they going to go phase with Indeed, as their customers are looking for and finding ways out. Plus, hiring companies are starting to build systems that use the candidates they've already bought from companies like Indeed and have stored them in their CRM and their ATS. God rest his soul, Matt Lavery from UPS had to hire, I believe it was like 150,000 people in 6 weeks, and 30% of them came out of his CRM and his ATS. I want to kiss the man on the mouth when he told me that. I mean, that is exactly what companies should be doing. Hiring companies are finally building these technical ecosystems where they own the primary source of candidates. As that happens, along with the where are they going to go mentality, Indeed becomes less necessary. Less part of the behavior, Indeed just becomes less, just like Monster and CareerBuilder. So the history lesson here, kids, is it's not about competition. Yes, Indeed was there to take over the mantle, but how did they get the mantle? It was all the things that CareerBuilder and Monster didn't do from an innovation standpoint, but they did do from an asshole standpoint.
Sounds like you're going short on those two names, Chad. Sounds like you're going short on those two names. Zip, I mean, I agree with you. I think Zip, they want you to think there's some magic AI gobbledygook that's driving profits at ZipRecruiter. There's no secret AI shit here. In fact, if anything, they took a step back into the future. They got rid of Phil, the ridiculous AI job seeker buddy.
How is that a step back?
No, they got rid of him.
I know.
He went back to like traditional, put in a keyword. And so like they thought Phil was the future. So they thought Phil's out to pasture now. So they're back to the old school search for a job. And then you got to register as a user if you want to actually see more jobs or apply to the job. So they're just like fill in the bucket, fill in the funnel with job seekers so they can spam them via email. The other thing is that they've increased their spend on marketing. They've reduced their cost. You'll remember that they laid off 20% of their workforce a couple of years ago. So they've cut costs, they're spending more, and they've always done this treadmill thing where like we'll spend more on marketing, we'll get more sales, reduce costs, like rinse and repeat and do this. Inflation has a big part of this as well. Like we've seen how much inflation, it's pretty steady at 3.5% last year. If I'm Texas Roadhouse and I have to deal with inflation, it means the meat that I buy costs more. What ZipRecruiter does isn't costing more, but they're able to pass increases on to their consumers because inflation, right? While they continue to cut costs. They have no transparency in pricing. If you go to ZipRecruiter's pricing page, it's a free trial. They're drug dealers now. The first hit is free. and then they loop you in, and I'm sure based on the results, and they source their candidates. I'm sure they're pulling in whatever AI, and then they drop the price on you based on probably the results that you've gotten. And then you're sort of paying who knows what. And we talked about dynamic shopping pricing, surveillance pricing in the past. So all these things kind of go into, let's take what was old, kind of repackage it as something new. And the bottom line is benefiting from that, but I would not. I still don't think this is any kind of buy or long buy. I do still think they're going to hit $10 this year. That was one of my predictions for 2026. I thought they were going to go full meme. Chad, you might remember that. They just might hit it now that they've done this. As far as Indeed goes, a little smarter on the engineering, financial engineering. They have a lot of smart people there. But I think most of it is just we're a duopoly. It's us and LinkedIn. People, from what I can tell, are leaving programmatic. They're leaving the vertical search folks, and we'll talk about Jobrapido after the break. But people are like, where do we go? We can't do what we've done. Like 80% of our budget goes to Indeed anyway, and now we're just going to go all in because they're going to increase prices, so we can't spend more on the alternative stuff. They're putting all these different ways, talent scout and results-based pricing. But I think this really is just we're cutting costs. Indeed had a lot of layoffs early this year. They've had every March for the last couple of years, they've had layoffs. Cost reduction, increased prices is all going to be a nice thing to the bottom line. I don't think there's anything secretive, nothing super AI awesome going on there. They're just moving the dials to profit. Good for them.
Phil is the future.
Phil, I don't even feel if you get to Phil anymore, man. That dude, that shit's gone.
He's sleeping. He's Van fucking Winkle at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's what you got?
Teasing me with Phil.
Do you know what? As I was listening to it, you both summed up what I was going to say, and it's like I totally agree. I mean,
you're welcome.
Yeah,
just read it back in a British accent, so we sound smart.
Let me preface. Smarter? Yeah, I'll preface. Yeah, but I think it is a great show of kind of financial PR, massaging, moving money around, making it look like they're more profitable than they actually are. You know, and it's not. Like you said, there aren't many people who are going to look at the initial, earning calls and dig behind the scenes and go, hold on a second, what happened before? Is this actually true? Not many people are going to do that, which is why they can actually get away with it. And you look at ZipRecruiter. I mean, ZipRecruiter, like you said, they are not a company that's doing well. They're not. They've massaged their numbers around. It looks like they're doing well. They're still struggling. Their products are still not innovative. They will still lean on this kind of AI route, but what they're churning out is actually rubbish, So is that going to work in the long term? Yeah, it looks good for this like kind of short term period. Long term? No, I don't think so. I think they're still going to have to find ways to massage the numbers to make the books look good. So that's my opinion on.
You mean it's not rolling in the Glassdoor brand into Indeed? It was that wasn't the secret sauce.
Not at all.
Did you guys see? I think this came out today that they're getting rid of the interview reviews on Indeed. You used to be able to like put reviews of how the interview process was. Yeah, because guess what? That's going away. That's all going to be automated. So they don't need reviews
oh my gosh.
That's my own take on that. But yeah, that dropped today, I think.
I saw that announcement coming that came out with the Indeed Glassdoor kind of like merger. And it's like, it felt like it was from 2018 or some shit like that.
Yeah, some kind of old school kind of thing. And, Indeed, I actually think are terrible. Like I do, they're absolutely terrible. The way they are screwing over they're screwing over the industry. And I think companies do need to wise up. I I feel sorry for the kind of the SMBs, the small and medium sized businesses, because if they need to grow, they need to put bums on seats. They just think automatically, I'm going to go to Indeed. I've got no other way of attracting candidates. People don't know my brand name.
Behavior.
Yeah, exactly. So they lean into that. They know they can inflate their prices and people are just going to have to pay it.
By the way, what was their exposure at RecFest in London this year? It was like a single sign somewhere. They've had a booth in the past, a lot of employees. This year it was just like little signs. A
little postcard almost.
Cutting those costs. My bet is when Glassdoor stopped filtering in Google traffic to their jobs, Indeed was like, just shut it down. It's just too much of a hassle.
No reason.
All right, guys, let's take a quick break. We come back. Oh, we haven't played buy or sell in a while. So fire up for that.
At Shaker Recruitment Marketing, our comprehensive services include branding, talent attraction, MarTech, and analytics, empowering you to achieve your recruitment marketing goals. We believe in doing things the right way, delivering the right message through the right activation, achieving the right conversion. For us, business is deeply personal. Our legacy is built on relationships. Together with our people, clients, and partners, we've been shaping the world of talent for over 70 years.
All right, guys, this next segment is sponsored by our friends who supply free T-shirts to the podcast. If you don't have a shirt, guys, you got to go to chadcheese.com/free. That's our friends at Aaron App, the freaks and geeks that are wearing the red shoes all over social media. Go check them out if you need some referral help now to buy or sell. If you don't know how buy or sell works, everybody, we read two companies that are in the news, and each one of us will either buy or sell that news. All right, now we can officially get to buy or sell. First up, we got Metaview. They acquired AI native recruiting firm Reval to accelerate development of Fillmore, not to be confused with Phil from ZipRecruiter. It's autonomous AI coworker for recruiting. The acquisition expands Metaview's engineering team and brings Reval's founders, Seth Tillis and Aditya Gupta, on board. Chad, Firing Squad alum Metaview is making some shit happen. Are you a buy or sell on their acquisition?
So I have been a long time sell on Metaview because they just being the note taker. It's just like anybody can do that at any time. Mm-hmm. But they need people to build an agentic platform. We need more of those specialized agentic platforms in our space. This is, I think, one of the smartest things they could do to hopefully divorce themselves away from just being seen as a basic note taker. Mm-hmm. I think it's very smart. And for me, this is an acqui-hire top to bottom. They need the people to be able to build the new platform. It's a buy for me. It's a buy. Wow. I'm a little surprised by that, Chad.
All right.
All right. So about a year ago, Metaview raised $35 million. That's a pretty good sum of money. That's a pretty good chunk of change. Reval was founded in 2023. Barely out of diapers, and not just as a company, but their founders are also barely out of diapers. I think one of them like graduated last year from Duke, whatever it is, like smart dudes.
That's a good school.
They bootstrapped the whole thing. They clearly are intelligent, made some smart technology. Probably didn't know how the hell to sell this thing. Like a lot of people that get in recruiting tech, like this buyer sucks. How do we sell to them? Like, so to go to Metaview and sort of like offload the technology, get a job, I think is smart for them. But I also think, like, is it that great if they sold already? Yes. Like the first company that waves $1 million check in front of their face, like, okay, that's it, we're good. It's like when you're a teenager and you first hook up with a chick and you're like, that's it, I'm done. It doesn't get any better than this. Like they should have waited a little bit, maybe, gone on a few more dates. They probably could have got a better
really
deal.
Good. You never know.
It might have been. Yeah. Red on top, Anyway, how that goes. So Metaview has money to spend. Yeah. Apparently, they're trying to build this technology. These guys maybe have the secret sauce and brought them on. It's fine. I think it's not that big of a deal. I think Reval could have held out. I think Metaview spending on this is probably some sort of sign that they need to add more money to the bottom line by acquisition. So I'm a little bit more on a sell on this one. I'm not buying it. So Emmy, can you break the tie on whether buy or sell Metaview's acquisition of Reval and Fillmore?
If you asked me even a month ago anything about Metaview, I would have just sold. Because I'm not a huge, it's not that I don't like the product. I actually think the product it's a decent product. I don't think it's very different to any other note taker out there. However, what I don't like, what I haven't liked about Metaview in the past is their customer service. I've been always very honest about it. I just don't think they treat, they did.
That's big.
That's an insider
they don't treat their customers exactly.
Take.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm always like, Metaview, no, sorry, I'm not your fan. They know I'm not their fan, so I'm never going to hide that. However, there's so many other vendors out there doing what Metaview are doing. They're now in a stage where they're having to differentiate themselves because they're now getting eaten alive by ATS vendors incorporating note takers into their platform.
Yeah. So they're a feature or a product. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just becoming a point solution now. That's the way that the market is actually going. And don't get me wrong, like I said, good point solutions. I understand note takers. I understand the benefits. We use it in our organization. But in a few years' time, it probably is going to be a point solution. So them buying Reval, diversifying their tech stack, apparently this is the first of many other acquisitions that's going to come down the line. I think it's a good move from Metaview. It's going to accelerate their growth. It means that, they can just right now start up making money, which apparently they have. So they have no integration issues and they've only been acquired in the last 3 weeks. So already it looks like they're getting value. So begrudgingly, I'm going to buy.
You're saying there's a chance.
That's a very non-committal buy there, Emmy. All right, that's our first buy. So let's get to the next one. Careerminds has acquired Jobrapido, looking to strengthen Careerminds' ability to help organizations navigate workforce transformation by combining career transition services with a large job marketplace. The deal brings broader access to career opportunities and labor market intelligence. Terms were not disclosed. Chad, buy or sell the Careerminds acquisition of Jobrapido?
So Careerminds acquires Jobrapido, and what I'm hearing, this is a rumor, kids, probably for no more than $1. They're out of Italy. It's really hard to get to be able to downsize your employee base in Italy. And from what I hear, I'm not an employment lawyer, it's been really hard for Jobrapido. This feels very bold-like, right? You buy more job seeker traffic to sell job seekers to your resume and coaching services. And I hate those fucking predatory, try to get money out of job seekers, bullshit scam stuff. So this is a big sell for me.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So I first heard of Jobrapido when you were at Job Central, Chad. I don't know. It was like one of the sites you had your job. Yeah, as a partner. You were kind of geeking on them at one point. This was 2006 that they launched.
Global traffic.
So we're talking a 20-year business. So that was the first thought that went through my head when I saw Jobrapido, because it's not like we get a lot of press releases from Jobrapido. So I went back to 2006, which is always fun for me. And then the second thing I thought of was like, well, they're based in Milan. Shit, I could have gone and popped in and got a tax break on my trip to Italy. So I was mad about that. Look, both of these companies have seen pretty good organic growth throughout the years. It's not like there's been a big crash in any of them. Jobrapido, the future of vertical search and aggregate job postings, like that is not a bullish industry to be in. I mean, everyone is going to you got to have the profile, you got to have the job seeker stuff, you got to have it's the data that comes together. that Indeed and LinkedIn have that's going to be really hard for anyone else to compete with. Now, that being said, I think Careerminds benefits from the data that Jobrapido does have, which is what job postings and job data and historical data. So when they're looking to help their customers offboard people, consult, like having that data, I think is a good thing to have. I agree with you, Chad, that the price was probably right. This was like the career or the clearance rack of the clearance rack at the TJ Maxx. So if that
was in the back alley,
yeah, I mean
on the clearance rack. Yeah.
that being the case, I think that this is probably a pretty good buy for Careerminds. And after 20 years, Jobrapido, you can go chill in Italy, which is a pretty good country to chill in.
Absolutely. Now, first of all, I was told that it's not Rapido by an Italian today. Yeah, it's Rapido. That's my best
close.
Italian
I think
accent.
I went Jobrapido.
Rapido. So
Europeans can't say Chad, okay? So if I get Rapido wrong,
I promise I was going to pronounce it correctly. So, Elisa, I know you're listening. Jobrapido. I think that's Italian.
We've made a career on mispronouncing names and companies. Like, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, dear.
Just plays into our dumb American brand.
Yeah. So, don't worry. So, okay, what do I think? I actually, I'm going to be the tiebreaker. I actually think it's a good sell. A good buy. Sorry. Oh my God. Okay. So I think it's a good buy because the way that the market is going, obviously there's so many jobs going at the moment. Obviously people's going to blame AI, taking over people's jobs, but the market is crap. There are more and more people looking for jobs. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing hasn't really changed in the last couple of years. I'm seeing lots of companies making redundancies, but not actually helping out their employees to get a new job. And the reality is, for some of the people, it's going to be hard to get a new job. Sometimes their job is not going to exist. There's going to be a downsize of certain jobs. So they're going to have to need help to kind of rebrand themselves, look at another direction to go down. Where can I upskill myself? What transferable skills do I have? So companies that actually provide that kind of outplacement support through companies like this one here that we're talking about, for them, they're going to look good. It's going to be great branding for them. So I think that, Careerminds understands that. I think them acquiring Jobrapido is a good complementary service. If it's a cheap acquisition, even better. They're just rounding out their services that they can actually offer to employees and to actually candidates. So I think it's a good buy.
I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
All right, guys, that was what I would call a spirited buy or sell segment. Let's get to our next story. Bend over and cough, everybody. The job doctor is in the house, and she's putting Maki People on the operating table. The company that provides AI hiring assessments has not conducted adverse impact analysis on its Mochi outcomes based on disability or veteran status due to insufficient data. The doc, aka Mrs. Sowash, if you're nasty, argues that this omission is concerning, especially given Maki People's claims of fairness and inclusivity. Chad, as the doc's assistant, I'm sure you have some insight here.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, first off, I got to commend Maki People for actually being transparent, responding. Julie had questions. They said they'd be more than happy to respond. They did not have a problem having those responses public. So, I mean, I've got to give it to the group over there because most companies that hear expert analysis, if it doesn't align with their current tech or business model, they literally just ignore it, right? They ignore the entire discussion. And in this case, Julie was like a damn forensic scientist in analyzing the practices, technology, and compliance. And today, as her assistant, I'm literally just going to go over certain aspects at very high levels. But if you want the forensics of it, you want all the deep, dirty stuff, go to jobboarddoctor.com to spell it out, jobboarddoctor.com. She does all the stuff.
I like the new logo, by the way. Like the new
Thank
logo.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all her, man. She's killing it. Okay, so Julie asked Maxim, who is the CEO over at Maki People, a very specific question around audits performed on segments of the population like individuals with disabilities and veterans. Their response was, quote, as of this audit cycle, we do not yet have sufficient voluntary self-identification data on disability status or protected veteran status to support statistically defensible adverse impact analyses on Mochi, which is the actual the product, outcomes for these groups. This is not an omission by design. It reflects the reality of where we are in the U.S. market entry and the voluntary nature of demographic disclosure, end quote. My translation of that, Maki People and their partner, in this case, Recruitix, who is the U.S. entity, are not ready to sell this product in the U.S. When a company says, quote, we do not yet have sufficient voluntary self-ID data, that should send off warning signals. Plus, even worse, if the partnership scheme of things with Recruitix, who is a very well-known entity, recruitment advertising agency, they're programmatically distributing jobs which lead to this Mochi product, which is a part of the audit that did not get passed, right? So Recruitix knows better, but it feels like they became prey to kind of like this whole move fast, break shit dynamics of the current market. And we're going to see more of this. Startups without the expertise and or understanding of the new markets that they're trying to penetrate, in this case, the US. Maki People's coming from France. They have an entirely different framework than we do in the US. Ours is all fucking wild, wild west shit. Theirs is very formulaic and very focused
regulated
on government control, right? Which is excellent, but it's two different worlds. But then you're coupled with a well-established vendor who's not, they're trying their damnedest not to get outflanked by competitors. So they're trying all these different things without performing the due diligence necessary that they should be performing for these little startups, right? So one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this is that I'm seeing this over and over and over. Startups are coming into the US or coming from the US to Europe. They don't know what fucking playing field they're on. They have no clue.
Yeah.
And then they're partnering with these bigger names and they think that that's literally just going to make them legit. Unfortunately, it doesn't go that way. So I hope moving forward that more startups and more established players start not moving fast and breaking shit, because that's exactly what's happening now. And I don't want to see big brands being their clients getting audited and nailed for shit like this.
60% of the time, it works every time.
You're way closer to this than I am, Chad. So my commentary will be pretty brief. But I think that companies, particularly in the current landscape of America, look, regulation is happenstance today. And I think that more and more companies are putting in their calculations of, okay, it's going to be cheaper to go to court than it is to like make changes and do business in a different way. So I think more and more companies with the administration that's currently saying no regulation on AI. And I don't think, Chad, we've talked about an AI regulation in hiring since Trump has been in office. I don't think there's been anything new or significant since that happened. So if I'm a company, it's like, well, hell, it is the Wild West. If the government's not going to come and pinch me, then why do I care? And if companies take that lead and they don't care, nothing's going to change. It's incumbent upon the customer to be educated. And shout out to Julie for having some real journalism, which is pretty few and far between and rare in an industry like this, that companies can now go to Maki People or whoever their vendors are and say, look, we're concerned about A, B, and C. Here's a story I read and here's some more research that I did. What changes are you going to make? Because it's not going to be the government that slaps these companies. It's not going to be, the state, local, or federal bureaucracies. It's going to be the customers. So if you're a customer of these businesses and listening to this, like, do yourself a favor and ask some hard questions, because that's the only way that things are really going to change.
This is the kind of thing that I kind of suppose deal with on a day-to-day at work. We're constantly looking at our vendors. We're constantly looking at new vendors. We're constantly, and I suppose in the last 4 or so years that I've been in my job, I've had to ask and think about how we implement technology. in a completely different way just because of the introduction of things like AI. We're trying to be more inclusive. We're trying to have a fairer process. So we're looking at every single stage of our hiring journey and all the tools that actually support the different stages of the hiring journey. And we're having to ask questions like this. And I'm thinking about other organizations like mine who know they have to ask questions, but maybe don't know what questions they're supposed to be asking, and I worry about those people. And I think that those organizations, particularly the smaller ones, particularly the ones that maybe don't have an internal employment legal team or not working with their internal, kind of DEI team who can actually give them that different perspective, they're just trying to wing it. They're just trying to figure it out by themselves. And then because they're not the experts in their own eyes, they will put so much trust into their vendors. They go, oh yeah, are you screening people in a fair way? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. And they'll take their word for it. So I think a lot of companies are going to get caught out just because they don't know what questions they're supposed to ask. And I suppose the biggest takeaway that I can say for people is like, ask other organizations, ask them what questions they're putting to their vendors. Ask them about, when they say they're actually, not biasing or not discriminating certain groups. Ask those other organizations, how do you actually verify that? Read the stuff like Julie's article to kind of upskill themselves in that particular area, because what will happen is if they don't start doing it now, even if they're in an area like the US where there isn't that much regulation right now, I don't believe that's going to be the way forever. It's already in Europe. Other territories will start kind of getting in line and understanding, right, okay, tighter regulations need to be in place. And if you're not starting to do it now, you're going to be way behind the curve.
I think what Emmy's saying is you got to go deep, Chad. Just the tip. You got to go deep. By the way, you want fear, Emmy? How about, can I interest you in a story on the return of MySpace?
That sounds fun.
We'll be right back. Time to get reacquainted with Tom, everybody. MySpace, once the most popular social media platform by far, is planning a relaunch, reflecting nostalgia for a more analog time when algorithms were less dominant in our lives. However, analysts caution that it faces significant challenges in an overcrowded market dominated by algorithm-driven feeds and short attention spans. Chad, I'll still be in your top 8 friends when MySpace comes back, right?
Yeah, just as long as Tom is my first connection. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. It was funny because I actually tried to go see if my MySpace was still out there. I think I deleted everything. So I'm going to have to start from ground zero, and that's fine.
Really? It's gone? You don't have MySpace anymore?
No, I think I literally just deleted everything. I think I did. It's interesting because you take a look at just the trust, and this is what it's all about. Nobody trusts Mark Zuckerberg. Dude's a piece of shit. They literally, New Mexico, I think in total, it's close to $1 billion that they're going to have to pay in fines. That's one state. If that starts to roll up state by state by state, this could start to hurt some of those social media platforms if they don't really start focusing on these algorithms that have gone out of control. So yeah, I mean, we're looking for, shall I say it, the Gen X days, right? When life was simpler.
It's millennial.
Things were easy.
It's millennial. I don't think Gen X can lay claim to MySpace.
No, I'm saying Gen X from the standpoint of we were home when the lights came on. We knew what the rules were, just all those things. And today it's just so much fucking chaos, right? And I blame the millennials because the chaos came
Obviously.
when they came. So it's all their fault. It's all their fault.
It is all their fault.
I'll be on MySpace. I'm going to check it out. If they still have, I mean, they went really heavy into bands at one time, and it was really like a band platform.
Sure.
But
Arctic Monkeys discovered off MySpace. Speaking of the British bands. In 2006-ish, I wrote a blog post basically saying that there was no way that MySpace could be dethroned. Oops, I got that one wrong.
That didn't age well.
Yeah, that was not good. I was proven wrong on that one. I mean, like, I don't think a lot of people, when they use Facebook or Instagram, go, "I hate Mark Zuckerberg and I wish I wasn't using this." I think it's more like I've lost control of my life. Like, the cars drive themselves. The algorithm tells me like what to watch. Amazon tells me what to buy. Netflix tells me what I should watch next. So I'm losing control of my agency as a human being. And I think there's a desire, particularly interestingly with young people, to sort of connect with vinyl records, which I thought I'd never see in my life. Records coming back is a wild thing. Yes. Yeah. And like, let's dress like we're grunge. Grunge is coming back in fashion. So people are trying to embrace having control and some sort of an organic feeling to their life. They're not going to get offline, but if we can have some sort of balance, then that's great. If that's MySpace, I mean, fine. I think it's a novelty. I don't think people are going to leave TikTok and the algorithm and big booty Latinas and bug fights to know like who my top 8 friends are and like juggle those around. So I think it'll have a 15-minute moment of fame, but MySpace coming back in a big way, unless they really change things, I just don't see it. Emmy, how about you?
To be honest, I had to go back and remind myself what MySpace was.
Oh, whatever.
No, I keep telling you, I'm way younger than you. Like, I never went on MySpace. I'm like, okay, what is this again? I kind of remember it, from back in the day. I think I was in primary school back then. But yeah,
I can't believe you're trying to play this, that you're too young to remember.
I am too young.
Oh my God.
I am too young.
Oh my God.
Listen, I will show you my passport. I'm way younger than you two, honestly. Yes.
I believe that, just not too young to not know what the fuck MySpace is.
It was just a name that floated around. I was like I said, I had to Google
if we were talking about Friendster, I'd be like, yeah, no, she doesn't know what Friendster is. I totally get that.
I don't know.
MySpace? No,
honestly. but I got it, I did it. I did my Google. I was like, okay, right. I remember MySpace vaguely. But all the things that were cool back in the day. Yeah, all the things that were cool back in the day are coming back. Like, I was walking down the high street, I don't know what you call it in the US, but there's like kind of stripper shops last week. And I'm seeing all the kids with the low cut jeans, Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears style. And I'm thinking, like, pull it up, what you doing? I'm seeing people with the mullets. I'm seeing people with the belly button rings. I'm like, all of that is coming back. So I'm not surprised that MySpace is coming back.
Are you wearing mom jeans, the ones that are like up to your
they're cool.
Oh, dude, that's totally fun.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, they're cool. They're fashionable.
God, they're so bad.
With my kind of pull up socks. I was like, New Balance trainers.
So
I'm like, woo,
shopping with Stella, they have like dad jeans that girls buy now. Yeah, it's totally.
Everything is coming back. People want authenticity. They want to go back to the heyday, the good old days of
I remember stories, Chad, you probably do too, of kids that would make custom backgrounds on MySpace, and kids would make a lot of money doing that. I also remember, Chad, you remember this? Remember when Simply Hired partnered with MySpace to do the jobs tab? Speaking of back
that
in
could
the
happen
day.
again. You never know, that could happen again.
They did not, however, and this would have changed everything, guys, if they had dad jokes on MySpace. They had dad jokes. And I'll give them the first one, all right? All right. Why did the motorcycle take a nap? Why did the motorcycle take a nap?
I don't know.
Because it
was too tired. Too tired.
There it is.
We out, everybody.
Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know. And yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. cheddar, blue, nacho, pepper jack, Swiss. So many cheeses and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!